How you doing, guys? D Handyman checking in, and today we have a condensing unit that keeps short cycling on me outside. Everything inside is running smooth. Thermostat inside is giving me some trouble. So the problem inside is just not stopping when it's supposed to, and it just keeps going. The problem outside is that it's short cycling. So it's literally turning on and turning off, with some cases being the compressor being on with it when it comes on, or sometimes the fan just cuts on without the compressor kicking in. So today, we're gonna go ahead and check our compressor and see if it's, check every terminal, see if you have, with your ohms, and just see if any resistance is going through the terminals. Before I did this, I actually didn't catch this in recording, but I tested the lines as well to see if there's any breakage between the lines. You see those wires, orange, red, and blue coming from that pullout? That is actually are the lines that go to the contactor and your capacitor. So you want to go to the outside where your capacitor is at and your contactor, trace those lines all the way to the end, put your ohms to it, and then one leg on the wire itself and then the other leg on some ground. And if you hear any beeping, then you have a break within the line. And here you're just gonna basically, it's 3 terminals, common, run, and start. You just, this is a 410A compressor, so I don't know if it might be different than you guys's, but this one is usually a 3-terminal plug-in, just a common, run, and start are switched around. But basically just check each terminal, one leg on the other, one leg on the other, and just keep switching it out. Make sure you test every single one. But as you see right there, it reads that it's a bad compressor right now. Now you could get a bad reading as well if the temperatures are high outside, or if the temperatures are just high, period, with the compressor running hot. There's a low overload switch that goes off whenever you overload switch whenever you when it gets too hot. So what you want to do is cool that compressor down. Either throw some water on it, or just give it time to cool off before you test again. It was pretty cool though, so that's why I read those readings and kind of got an idea what was going on. And right now I'm just cutting those the zip tie that's on this on these wires, so when I braze, I'm not melting or burning any wires in the process. And right now, I'm starting to unscrew the screws. There's 4 screws holding that, 4 bolts holding down the compressor. I forget the size, so I do apologize. But if I'm not mistaken, I believe it's a 13 millimeter socket. Yep, lefty loosey, righty tighty. Go ahead, turn them left, loosen them up. And one thing about Train AC units, and actually this is actually one of my first times dealing with that brand. Man, I love how the compressor is sitting right there in the middle. You can swing your arm around, take those bolts off so easily, nothing's in the way. Very, very convenient. Goodman's, I've worked with some carriers, man. Sometimes they put the compressor right in the corner. It's a hassle, man. Especially if you don't have a deep socket for your drill. It's just, a wrench is out of question. You can't even use that for those units. But we're almost there at the last one right now.
And that's basically just putting your low side line, your blue line, on your low side line.
And right here, I'm gonna show you guys, basically, you're supposed to use a recovery tool to, a recovery can to take off the Freon out the system. But for right now, we improvised. I just used a bucket of water, stuck my line in there, my low side line inside the bucket, and it evaporated all the Freon for me. It's a waste of Freon, but unfortunately I didn't have my recovery can with me. Right here, you're just gonna, what I'm doing right now is just taking off the Schrader valve to release any extra pressure to the unit. And as you see, that's the Schrader valve right there.
There's your Schrader valve right here.
And when I take it out, no Freon is really coming out because it's already been disposing. And that's the Schrader valve right there. Make sure you keep that safe, keep it with you, and so you can install it at the end. And the reason we released the Freon is for this, because of this next step right here. You're gonna have to cut the pipe, and you see that little line right there, the little bulge. I cut right in front of that. Make the line as thin as possible, or the distance as thin as possible, because you don't want to keep you don't want to cut it too short, and then you have to mess around and trying to bend the pipe just to get it in there. You don't want to bend up the pipes too much. So here we go. Cut your low side, cut your high side off. Don't want to put too much pressure. You want a good clean cut, and I recommend adjustable pipe cutters. It's just more convenient for me, having to deal with different pipe cutters that just are different sizes. Just makes no sense. Having trouble getting it on there, but we're about to tighten it up now and start cutting away. All right, now that we got the pipes out the way, we'll go ahead and take out the old compressor out. Took the bolts off, 4 bolts, and cut the pipes, so it's good to go. Go ahead and put in the new one. And you're gonna want to put in the old ones, the old gaskets that go underneath the legs. For some reason, the new ones just don't bring them, so I just go ahead and just take them from the old one, just popping in the new. I'm pretty sure you can order those online or at your convenient HVAC store, or your local HVAC store. I just never had to do it, but go ahead and screw it all back in.
Pop these guys on the bottom.
Put your bolts in place, lock it in.
So it goes in the middle of the...
Start tightening them up away.
Please.
I'm showing y'all how to change it from lefty loosey to righty tighty, but then we're gonna have to start tightening them up. Once you put bolts in place, righty tighty.
Half side socket. One half socket.
Then we're gonna want to take off the gaskets from each low and high side from the compressor. And once you take those gaskets out, you're gonna go ahead and put your pipes in. And man, this one was giving me trouble. You see, I cut only a small little piece. It was a small distance from that compressor to the line from when I made my first original cut. And you see how difficult it is just to have that pipe just sitting there. And you want to make sure it's sitting in there flushed and tight, because you don't want to, when you're brazing, it kind of moves the pipe because it gets hot and it's so easy to bend that it ends up bending its own way back, popping back out. And you want to go ahead and just make sure it's real flushed in there and tight. Sometimes you gotta bend the pipe a certain way, maybe downwards, upwards, depending on the location of the pipe. All right, now what I'm doing is I'm trying to bend it in towards the floor and closer from the base. That one was easy, that one was in there. It was perfect fit, perfect cut. This one's giving me hell though, so that's good. We're almost there, got them flushed in. You want to do like a small little pull test. Don't pull too hard, obviously, because it will come out easily. But you want to put some wet rags on top of everything, especially those low pressure switches and the high pressure switches. Go ahead and put some rags on top of those. You don't want to burn your sensors. You don't want to burn your wires. Definitely don't want to do that. And this right here is my brazing secret sauce, as I like to call it. It's really great. As you see, that's the brand I use. It's really great for when you braze. You literally stick that guy on the pipe right on top, smother it from the top to the bottom all around, and man, it spreads the metal so smooth when you braze, when you get to brazing. And if you guys need a tutorial on how to turn on torches and use torches, please comment below and I'll make a separate video on how to use torches. And right now my flame doesn't look right because I was running out of acetylene, and it was very, I literally had to braze as I was melting away the pipe, the bar. So what I usually like to do is, if my torches are acting correct, and I have a full tank on each side, oxygen and acetylene, I like to heat up the pipe, make it extremely hot, like cherry red, and then drop the bar on it and just guide the melted silver with your torch. And just loop it around and it literally just rings around by itself. But right here, I had to kind of do it all at the same time, same with the other pipe. And unfortunately, I didn't get to show you guys rest because my phone died. So I do apologize about that. Did torch the other side, and what you do after that is literally cool it down and put your plug-in back to the compressor, put your Schrader valve back in, start filling it up with Freon, and your unit should start kicking in. As you see right there, just put water on it, let it dry out, cool everything off, plug it back into the compressor, put your Schrader valve back in so you can put the Freon back in, and you're good to go. Check for leaks, check for any holes, and that's how you change the compressor, guys.
Why y'all did me so sorry? Think I'm waiting on an apology. Fuck that, not waiting on nothing. Fuck that, not waiting on nothing. Yeah. Lord forgive me for my sins. No, I did some shit, yeah.